Good morning from the North Half Creek Trailhead. Today we're going to be hiking 14er Mount Massive. For a full trail guide of Mount Massive, you can check the link in the description below. To catch you up to speed, we drove up the rough forest road here past the standard trailhead for Mount Massive and ended up having to park about 0.4 miles down from this trailhead here because of a couple of just pretty deep spots that my car couldn't get through. This is not the standard route of Mount Massive, but it is the shortest, coming in just about 7.5 miles for us today. If you can get up to here, it's about 7.25, about 4,000 feet of elevation gain either way. As some of you may know, Mount Massive is the second tallest 14er in the state of Colorado, Mount Elbert being number 1. This is a class 2 hike, which means that it is, for the most part, dog friendly, and I say for the most part because every dog is a little different, but I do have Juno with me here today. As you can tell by the mileage and the elevation relative to this hike, it's going to be pretty steep. So don't expect an easy hike just because it's under 8 miles. This entire hike is in the Mount Massive Wilderness area, which means no electronic vehicles, so no drones in this video. So if you're tuning in for that, and that's the only reason you watch, you can go ahead and watch another one. We got plenty of videos. Just went to go take some long exposure shots and my camera's dead. So now I'm carrying a super heavy DSLR for no reason. And then went to go check for an extra battery, realized I'm carrying my drone battery still. And of course I don't have the drone because you can't fly it here. Really nailing the efficiency department this morning. Wow, major avalanche here. Holy crap. So I have hiked Mount Massive from the other side, but I gotta say right now, it's no comparison as to which approach is more beautiful. Just a gorgeous little basin here. Just about 1.5 miles into the hike, you're gonna reach what was previously just an unmarked trail junction, and now there is a sign on the ground. I don't know how long that'll stay before someone steals it. This is your trail junction, and I hope you like going uphill, because from here you're gonna gain about 3,000 feet in under 2 miles, so it's gonna be steep. Working up through this rock field, and I have to say, so far the trail is in pretty good shape actually, so no complaints, and Juno seems content as well. Believe it or not, trails like this don't just magically happen in nature. You can thank groups like Colorado 14ers Initiative and Colorado Mountain Club and others who volunteer their time to do trail restoration. So if you ever want to thank one of them, you can do that with a small donation. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. Man, this section just kicking my ass. It's just, you feel like you're in good shape, and then you get a trail like this. You're like, man, I don't think I've ever worked out before, let alone gone up a 14er. Juno's just like sprinting up it. She's multitasking, hunting and hiking, and I'm just struggling to get up this damn thing. But hey, at least the views are really nice right now. Just gonna ID some peaks for you in the valley here. So you got Mount Elbert right there, you got Bull Mountain back there, right there, And then you got Mount Oklahoma, which is a centennial right there. And that's Juneau Mountain because she's now taken my leash and sent it down the ravine. Quick look down. So we just kind of been switchbacking up this and started down there. That's a look up. It's just switchbacking up, and eventually we're gonna get over this hump. You got South Massive, which is an unofficial summit up there. And after about 2 seconds down here of easier terrain, you just go right back into the hills, and it's going to be like this all the way to the summit because you still have over 2,000 feet to gain. At the base of the southwest slopes here, as you can see, lingering snow will last even into June and sometimes early July. From here, we're going to kind of cross up and then work our way right to that point to gain the ridge there. Pretty scary stuff. This rock right here is a new addition to this field. As you can see, it tumbled down. It looks like somewhat recently, but just goes to show you that even in the spring, you gotta be super careful. Editor's note, what you're about to see is the wrong way. I end up going somewhere up here. That's incorrect. This will only be an issue when you're trying to route find in the early summer and spring. I'll show you more footage of the right way down at the end of the video on my descent. Incredibly frustrated right now. There's days, you know, when I'm like, should I bring the dog? Should I not? And this was one of those days where I should have left her at home. The snow here is just too steep for me to be navigating one hiking pole and her on a leash. It's just very frustrating. Looking down to where we just came up, I've kind of just like zigzagged there and came back here. To be honest with you, I think I need to go back that way, but because I have the dog and because it's drier over here, I'm gonna aim for right about there. Oh, the frustration continues. I have no idea where the trail is. We are way off trail and this terrain sucks. It's not responsible trail use, and the list of things goes on, but it is what it is at this point. And just trying to connect to the trail. I have no idea where it is. Way off track right now, but looking down. Almost on the top of the ridge up there, and I think the trail is just through there. Oh, thank God. Finally back on the trail. It's just right there. Karen right there. So I'm really not sure where we went wrong here. Anyway, that's looking to South Massive, which is a unofficial 14er. It's not named and it's not an official one because it doesn't have enough space in between its saddle. Once you get to here, you're going to be going up there. Fuck! All right, I'm not sure if that is a true summit or if there's one right there. I don't know. What? Good girl. Here's a good look at the rest of the route. This is a false summit. That is the true summit. That is North Massive, which is another false 14er. Again, it has to be 14,000 feet, be named officially, and have 200 feet of rise from peak to peak. Today has been brutal so far, and it's just another reminder that even the 14ers with short mileage can still kick the crap out of you physically and mentally, depending on the day, the conditions, and how you're feeling, honestly. Alright, summit of Mount Massive. What a frustrating approach. Just not one of my positive days today. But we made it, and weather's good so far. And of course the views are pretty good. Just a couple quick notes about this one. Just about 4.4 miles to the summit for us, but we got way off track, so imagine it's going to be closer to an 8-mile round trip where we parked. From that upper trailhead, it's about 7.25, a little longer. The trail finding, I mean, it was good at first. I just lost the trail, so I'm going to not wrap this up here and hopefully be able to find what we did wrong on the way down, so that you know, I can just have a better trail guide for you. There's, you know, some rock hopping along the way, but for the most part, when the trail is dry, this is dog friendly. But again, I would be really hesitant to bring a dog when there's these snow fields. For all the gear I used on this hike, you can check the links in the description below. But really, it's pretty straightforward in the summer. It's just going to be, you know, backpack. I have a 14er packing list video, so check that out. But backpack full of basic things and trail runners. You might optionally have hiking poles, but really it's your preference. But I'm not going to linger long here because these clouds are moving in and I don't want to get stuck on the summit when I know we have a very long descent. All right, so this is the trail we wanted to come up. We ended up coming up like there to that trail. Looking down, you can see we're going to work this way. Quickly making my way in a careful way down southwest slopes of Mount Massive. And I always talk about kind of dangerous or dark clouds when I've been hiking, and I really haven't had a chance to show you. Well, unfortunately today I do. So you're going to notice these clouds here, and you can see how they're dark on the bottom, and that's really not something you want to play around with. Quickly as I can, maintaining safety, making my way down the trail here. I haven't heard thunder yet, but every time I say something in a video I jinx it, so I'm sure the next shot will be us bunkered down. So on the way up, what I should have been looking for is this, because the trail is basically under here, and in the drier months it would be switchbacking on this slope here and then continuing up that way, which is similar to the way we came up. We went too far over and then up instead of coming this way. So simple mistake, an easy one to make apparently, but still got to get down fast because these clouds are moving in. Quick update on the clouds. Looks like most of the really bad stuff is a little bit up north, which is good because we're making good progress down here. Well, I knew this was coming. Could see it from a mile away, but luckily we're pretty low at this point, and again, haven't heard any thunder. But nice grapple storm. Just sitting here taking my pant legs off because it's really hot. I'm sure rain will start pouring down the second I finish. But working our way down the rock fields here, and I gotta say they're definitely just as slow as going up because, you know, you got to be careful of twisted ankles and you don't really trust the stability of them. You know, reflecting back on this morning, I feel you know, a little guilty. I was so frustrated with the situation and made a stupid error missing the trail, but you know, that's what happens when you hike. Even if you've hiked 200 14ers, you're gonna screw up eventually. And I feel like when I have the dog with me, it's an extra responsibility, and it's an extra, you know, set of caution I have to use. Of course, like, I bring her because I want her life to be as full of this hiking experience and not sitting inside as possible. And I know it makes it a lot harder sometimes, but that's the responsibility of a dog owner. And you know, whether you're bringing them hiking or walking them, you know, on a park, you have to just consider the dog and other people as well. And so I always keep Juno on a leash, which, you know, obviously makes things much harder for me sometimes, especially when there's steep slopes and things like that. But I think she's having a great day, so I'm happy I brought her. So the weather didn't end up turning into anything but a couple showers, some grapple showers. But you know, I'm so conservative when it comes to weather, especially when I have another life in my hand. So I have to, you know, obviously use common sense for two of us. And even though I haven't heard any thunder yet, there's more storms rolling in, and I just felt like it sucks to anytime sit on the summit for that little time. But you know, that's just part of hiking. Like, yeah, there's awesome times where you can sit there for an hour if you wanted to, but you know, a lot of the times it's, especially with a dog, you have to be responsible. And I wasn't willing to stay up there for literally more than 5 minutes, even though we had spent hours and hours working up there. It sucks, but it's kind of part of the game. Back down to about the trailhead now. I really love this backdrop, even though it's really loud. So I'll wrap the video up here. Overall, Mount Massive via the southwest slopes was a really nice hike. But I like the first half more than the second half. I feel like you get the rivers, you get the nice valley. Once you get up into the basin, it's kind of monotonous hiking. But overall, still a nice day on the mountain, and glad we got down safe. That's always the goal. For a full trail guide of Mount Massive via the southwest slopes, you can check the link in the description below. If you want to watch more 14er videos, you can check out my 14er playlist, linked in the description below as well. Please subscribe not to miss any future hike-related content. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.